Hello and welcome everybody to this session. We're so excited to have you here today. This is our third in a series of sessions that are focused on Globe alumni. And so we're excited to have you here to discuss this. We can go on to the next slide. Just a reminder on as you join us today, if you have any tech issues, please private chat message Pilar, who actually I think shows up as Globe Program, the host, or Carol, and they can assist you. And then we want to remind you there are captions that you can do, which will also do translations. So you can follow these instructions down on the bottom right to go in more in my speaking language under captions and translation and select another language. Also, we ask you to rename yourself with your name and country or organization in your role. In fact, I am not doing that, so I will make sure I do that once I stop speaking. These learning sessions, as a reminder, are part of the Globe meeting from 2025 and are an opportunity for us to continue to make connections across Globe countries and Globe regions and help provide opportunities for you all within the Globe community to learn from one another and to enhance engagement with Earth system science. So we're really excited for this. And with the next slide, sorry, you'll see that we have announced also a session in April, at the end of April, that will be focused on globe phenology. And we'll continue to have more information available in Mighty Networks and on the Globe website under the annual meeting. Next slide. Our agenda for today, I'm going to give some updates on the Globe program. And then I will turn it over to Amy Busey, who will go over what we've done so far. And then we'll have, depending on how many people we have, we may not do breakout and instead have discussion here all together. And then we'll do a closing and next steps and wrap up. With that, go to the next slide. Hopefully you all saw the news brief, and so that included in the letter some information about the Globe program. The headline being, "We will continue," which is wonderful news, of course. We're very excited about this. And there are going to be some, however, programmatic shifts. There's already been a reorganization within NASA's Earth Science Division, and the Globe program is within something called enabling capabilities, and specifically under the crowdsourcing area of enabling capabilities. So this is really focused on engaging volunteers around the world to help collect data. Exactly what we do. And so we will be having some shifts with Amy Chen has left NASA officially for personal reasons, not not related to the program, but instead we have a new program manager, Dr. John Sullivan, who some of you have met. If you have not, hopefully you'll get a chance to. But another big shift is that there is a new team within NASA that are supporting the Globe program. They're scientists. Some of them know well. Some of them have been part of the Globe Observer team, and we'll be introducing more of them as time goes on, and hopefully be able to share more about the structure. But the GIO, we will continue to work with the team at NASA and support their efforts around community engagement and support. So we are looking at the possibility of an annual meeting for 2026 as well. That we're working on that, and more news will be coming. But just wanted to give you that positive news that things are moving forward, and we will be here to support you. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Amy Busey.
Thank you, Rebecca. And I'll just apologize at the outset. I'm a little bit under the weather, but hopefully won't do too much coughing during today's session. Um, Hello. I'm so glad that you all could join us. My name is Amy Busey, and I am a member of the Community Engagement and Support Team. And I've also had the pleasure of helping to plan and organize several of the learning sessions that we've held since last year's annual meeting. And specifically, I've had the pleasure of working on the Globe Alumni Series. And as Rebecca mentioned, this is the third in our series of sessions focused on engaging Globe alumni. In the first session, we welcomed panelists who shared strategies that they're using in their classrooms, in their schools, in their countries, and even across their regions to stay connected with Globe alumni and involve them in the program after they leave the classroom or a former role that they held. During the second session, we heard from a really fantastic group of alumni about the profound impacts that the GLOBE program had had on them personally. And they also described the ways that they've found to stay involved and their motivation for doing so. Today, before we move into our discussion, I'm going to very quickly review some of the key ideas, themes, and advice that were shared during those conversations. But I would really encourage you to view the recordings, which are available on the Globe website, to hear their stories. They really are truly inspiring. And I'll also ask my colleague, if she hasn't done so already, to add the names of each of the contributors to these first two sessions, just so we can recognize the individuals who've contributed so far. Um, so if you are here at this session, then you probably already have a sense of why alumni engagement matters, but these are some themes that came out across the conversations we had at the first two sessions that I just wanted to reiterate here. So there's a huge potential for benefit to both the Globe community and its activities, as well as alumni themselves by having alumni be an involved part of the community. As Globe alumni bring their professional expertise in STEM and other areas that can strengthen the impact, including the scientific impact of the Globe program. A key role that several of our panelists mentioned was having alumni serve as mentors and role models for both students and educators after they leave their classroom experience. Alumni also provide some continuity and institutional memory as folks come and go from their teaching roles, from their leadership roles, their coordinator roles. Alumni can help provide some of that continuity. Alumni also, as they move through their careers and their personal lives, can have potential to greatly expand Globe's reach through their own networks. And then finally, but importantly, alumni themselves can benefit through professional and personal growth and collaboration and continued connection to the program. So while recognizing the importance of staying connected to the alumni community, the panelists and lots of other members of our community have also identified some challenges or potential barriers to alumni engagement. One of the most obvious being that it can be really easy to lose connections after leaving the classroom specifically, especially if your Globe experience was an elementary school or middle school. It can be easy to lose those connections or hard to maintain them. And then for those that do find their way back to Globe, it's sometimes unclear what the opportunities are to stay involved. So there can be a sense of a lack of clear pathways or structures for reconnecting with the program. And as students move on from their K-12 experience, they may go into college, they may enter the workforce or pursue careers. There can be competing priorities over their time between their professional responsibilities and their personal responsibilities and across their different career stages. A lot of times, alumni engagement can rely on personal connections to an educator or a mentor that they developed a relationship with through Globe, which can make it really hard to scale alumni involvement when those connections rely on individual relationships. And sometimes there was a sense that there's limited visibility of alumni in the community. So hearing those alumni stories and understanding their impacts could go a long way in helping others see the opportunity to stay involved. And then finally, there was a sense that alumni can sometimes feel isolated, and coordinating and communicating across geographic barriers can be difficult at times. Having acknowledged those challenges, I was really inspired by some of the success stories that were shared at the first two alumni sessions and the promising strategies and advice that our panelists offered. The first being that you don't need a formal alumni network to begin engaging alumni. There was real encouragement to start small and just stay open to involvement and don't wait for the perfect structures to exist. Engagement can look like one person or one classroom or one opportunity and can be really organic in the way it grows. There was also encouragement to create an inclusive and welcoming community. And the suggestion that alumni are more likely to stay involved and want to be involved when they feel valued and recognized. And part of that inclusivity um, means recognizing the value or the potential to contribute of all alumni, not just STEM professionals. So STEM professionals obviously offer connections to science and practicing scientists, but there are roles and benefits of involving alumni who pursued other fields like education. They can provide assistance with fundraising or with communication and outreach. So engagement should include all alumni, not just STEM professionals. But the key message here was that culture is a really important factor in fostering long-term engagement, and a strong sense of belonging can be key to that. Importantly, the panelists suggested that offering meaningful and flexible roles, not just token tasks, was a great way to engage alumni. And our speakers at the first two sessions shared a variety of clear and purposeful ways that alumni could contribute. We mentioned mentoring students and teachers, but they could also provide logistical support at workshops or events, contribute to research and data collection, or even assist with translation and outreach in their communities. And providing flexible roles and a variety of them will go a long way in helping match alumni skills, their interests, their availability with ways of helping the program. And then we've had ongoing conversations about how digital tools and platforms can be used to gather and share alumni stories and strengthen their connections in the community. There's potential for technology to help catalyze and support these efforts. Technology is not without its challenges and drawbacks, but it seems like those are some tools that can help address some of that geographic isolation and communication challenge. And then there was also some advice for alumni. The alumni we spoke with during our second session really encouraged others who wanted to stay involved to stay connected through their relationships with their mentors, through their educators, and those they met through the program, and also to take initiative to seek out and create opportunities. So as we think about both the barriers and the strategies that we've discussed at those first two sessions, we also heard some requests from the community for more opportunities to talk about what these things look like in practice and for opportunities for people to share their own experiences, either as alumni who want to stay connected and involved in the program, or those who have tried to support alumni involvement in their communities, and continue to brainstorm about what next steps could look like in their context, what supports might be needed, and what resources the community might need and benefit from to engage alumni. And based on some of these themes that came up during the prior sessions, as well as the topics that were offered during registration, we'd originally planned on having breakout rooms around these three topics, but I'm thinking we might just stick in the main room and have a conversation together. But I'll go ahead and introduce them. The first topic is around the challenge of staying connected to the program. So, what are the ways we might either maintain connections with students as they leave the classroom, or at least make it easier for them to reconnect with the program and then strengthen and sustain those connections over time? The second topic, identifying roles for alumni, is really about looking what alumni engagement looks like in practice. So, what kinds of roles do alumni play, and how can those be flexible to align with varying capacity, expertise, career stages, and so on? And then finally, the third topic that we wanted to talk about were some of the digital tools, the platforms, the communication systems that you may be using or have tried or consider using to facilitate the kinds of communication, connection, and collaboration that we've been discussing. So, our goal for this conversation, I think, is to give each of you a chance to share your experiences, talk through some of what has worked well or hasn't, and also get your ideas about additional strategies or kinds of supports and resources that might be helpful, as well as identify those places where we still have questions or there might be opportunities for further discussion. So I think, given the number of people here, I might suggest we just stay in this room, but I am going to stop sharing my screen so I can see all of you. Um, and change it to gallery view. I would invite you, unless bandwidth becomes an issue, to turn on your video if you are comfortable doing so. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Evangeline.
Hello.
And if not, I understand.
I have an idea, Amy, and I'm wondering if you could just maybe share that last screen real quick to
I can do that.
do those discussion points. And my apologies, but I have a meeting I have to host at 9:30, so I'll be
Oh,
jumping.
no. Okay.
Yeah. Um, yeah, as I'm looking at these, and we're in the process of frantically working on a large proposal, and I'm one idea I was just thinking was that, we record all of our engagements. When we go to visit a school, we record, how many students did we interact with and what did we do and that kind of thing. And so I kind of simultaneously had two thoughts. So one was that in this proposal that we're writing in our plans for the future to be more proactive about engaging the alumni that we do know in the events that we host and do. And the other is that I'm wondering if there's maybe some sort of table or form or something that we could fill out when we do actually you know,
Hmm.
do something like that so that we can record it. I have an option. I could like create a news story or something like that, but it might be kind of cool as almost like a little, I don't know, reward system. Like if you engaged an alumni, tell us about it and submit this thing, and then it'll show up on the Globe website or something like that. And, kudos to that group for doing that. And, just some kind of PR effort. I don't know what that would look like. Just random idea. So,
No, I like that idea. So, both gathering information about the alumni who are engaged in these events and activities, but also like recognizing the effort to do so in a visible and public way.
right. And this might tie in. I think we talked about this previously. There really isn't a place on the Globe website specifically for alumni, is there? I mean,
There, was an alumni section that I think was fairly outdated. But Rebecca, go on.
Yeah, and it also had a forum that people weren't engaging with, but we had to take that away
Hmm.
because of infrastructure resources.
right, right,
But
right.
we are thinking as we move forward about what we can do. We have the Mighty Networks platform, and
Hmm.
one of the questions is if that's going to be available long term, could we make sort of a hub for alumni there? where they could interact and share resources, and that could then feed, news stories that we do from home.
Right. That's actually the perfect idea because we would probably continue to make news stories, and then if we could just have a checkbox that says this engaged alumni, and then it could also auto feed to that page. That's how our Mission Earth page is structured. So if it's like a PD event, then it auto populates on the PD page. That would be the easiest way to go about it rather than fill out a new form. Because who wants a new form to fill out, right?
Right. So I believe we have, I've lost my participant list, but I believe we have a number of people here from Globe Africa. And I know Globe Africa has a really vibrant and healthy and active alumni community. And I'm just curious, Ilias, I think I saw you on earlier, or others who have been able to join us. How have you been so successful in maintaining those connections with alumni after they leave the classroom? Because I think that's a real challenge for a lot of folks.
Yes, thank you very much, Amy. This is a very an interesting question. You know, there is one thing which connects all of us to Globe, which maintain us to Globe because I'm talking as I'm a Globe alumni. It is the consideration. It is the link we have with the Globe program. It's like as I used to say. It's like something which is flowing in our blood, okay? Because the connection is so intense, so that it's like a baby who cannot live without his mother, okay? So we use this interest to attract and maintain, a club alumni. Also, we have many country coordinators who are still uh, interested in working strongly with alumni. Those alumni has been their students, and they still maintain this connection with them, and we use the country coordinators. I'm thinking that Mrs. Buso Ngosefa,
Hmm.
who is actually connected and who is a very it's a motherhood, she's a mother, sorry, for the Global Alumni in Africa region because of her support for Senegalese alumni, but also for the Global Alumni Network. I don't
Hmm.
want to forget those people, from the regional office, and some Mark and other country coordinators who are also, kind to work with alumni. I remember that in I don't 2016 or 17, during the global regional meeting, it had been decided that Globe alumni should be promoted as assistant country coordinator. And this happened in some countries. Okay, so this was also the way we used to connect them apart digital platforms that we use to
Hmm.
to stay connected. I don't know if I answer your question.
You did. Yeah, it sounds like not only do the students feel a real lasting connection to the program because of the experience that they had in Globe, but there's a real culture in your region where the country coordinators, the regional coordinator have always celebrated and valued and encouraged alumni to stay connected. And it seems like that's gone a long way to help foster the alumni community that you have today. And also, I think what I heard was that having having roles such as assistant country coordinator become available to alumni who are really interested and involved in the program, um, gave them a pathway to continue supporting Globe.
Yes, that is it.
And I have a quick follow-up question. At the very end, you mentioned tools and networks for staying connected. how do you, what kinds of communication systems do you use in your countries and this is for anyone, but in your countries, in your region, to communicate with and facilitate these connections between alumni?
Hi,
The first, yeah, Alil, let's go. We can,
hi.
yeah, I'm,
I am
please,
Halil Parido. I am also from Benin Republic. Uh, I am one of young brother of coordinator Ilyas. On of our way, you know, in this organization, or I can say in this life, or each of us we have our personal relationship, and when we was a student we have some uh, good relationship as a student. Today, as a alumni, we use the same way to call each other and inform them about our different activities, and uh, talk about how we can meet, how we can manage our student, how. This is one of the way who we use in Benin Republic.
yes, I would like to add to that that we have WhatsApp groups, which
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
commonly used. So,
We have our WhatsApp group, and most of our activity, our information pass through this WhatsApp group.
That's really helpful. So it sounds like relationships are a really important part of what drives your work, and having that shared goal or those shared problems or shared questions that you all care about and are working about, and then the mechanisms or the platforms like WhatsApp where you can have those exchanges makes that makes those connections, those interactions and collaboration easier. Thank you.
Me, I'll just jump in because I have to jump out.
Yeah, sorry. Thank you, Sarah.
But I just put in the chat, and this is something I've wanted to do for years. Is just kind of have like a fun event and get everybody together, not with any real purpose of like a PD or, anything like that or conference,
Hmm.
but just have some sort of local event. And at this point now, we own physical 10 by 10 tents, with like the soil walls, the water walls, that kind of thing that we could set up and just have like a globe fair, just here's a pedosphere tent, here's an atmosphere tent. Let's just have people show up, could be anyone, just learn about it if you want, try out the protocols, but just have some sort of more social engagements.
Hmm.
That's what builds community, right? Those social connections. So I may
Yeah.
float that one to our team again. I did years ago and it went nowhere, but
But you hit on something that's come up a lot, and I know you have to leave, so I want to thank you for your thoughts. And that's come up a lot, this need for like personal connection at events where you can really start to form those relationships that then makes it easier to stay connected and continue them once you go back to your respective jobs and homes and places.
right. And I host our monthly, we call them GME exchange meetings for our network of educators. And you just made me realize I should probably try to invite alumni to those because
Oh,
those are
that's a great idea.
after school in the evenings, and that would be an easy way to engage. So if anyone else has, regular virtual meetups that they do, maybe consider including alumni in your calendar invitations.
Hmm.
So lots of great ideas. I wish I could
yeah,
stay. So thank you all.
Thank you for joining. Have a
Okay,
great weekend.
you
thank
too.
you.
Bye bye.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye,
Thank you,
Elias. Good to
Sarah.
see you.
Good
Yep,
to
good to
see
see
you.
you all. Bye, Islam.
Bye-bye.
I love the idea Sarah has just shared because yes, we also use this particular event to connect alumni and to maintain
Mm-hmm.
them, especially International World Environment Days. Uh, environmental international days, which we used to celebrate together, organizing, some activities, globe activities, taking data, reporting data, and so. Yeah, also globe campaigns, are also a good occasion to be together. And as I know, the next step of the new infrastructure of Globe is going to align with NASA research campaigns. So this will be opportunities for alumni to work together, to be together, and also to participate in globe activities in a way which will help them to improve their competencies, to improve their skills, environmental skills, scientific skills, and also to get on opportunities like, research and learning opportunities to participate in a workshop and so. I think that that's a good idea, and I totally agree with Sarah.
Yeah, that's a great suggestion and point that we have a real opportunity at this turning point for the program where we are looking for more opportunities to connect with NASA science, NASA scientific missions, connect those to Globe campaigns. And I think you're right that campaigns are a fantastic opportunity to both do some of that connection, that relationship building, that person to person, have those person to person experiences, and also have an opportunity to learn and do some data collection. It's kind of the everything packaged into one. So campaigns are a great opportunity. I think you're right. I'm curious, and not to put any pressure on anyone, but for those of you on the call that we haven't heard from yet, I'm just curious what your questions are, what you're thinking about in terms of alumni and how we engage them. Like is there any advice you want to share with us? Is there anything, are there any ideas you've been playing with or questions you have that you'd like to talk about with this group?
Yeah, I have one suggestion, regarding the way alumni will be, infused in the new organization of the Globe program. We have talked during many at many occasions about how we are looking this structure. I think that we can. I'm suggesting that we can create, something like a desk, alumni desk at the Globe community, with CES, I think. So we can create some a desk there who will be responsible for alumni question. I don't know if that sounds good for you, or
It's
if this
definitely,
is something it can be done. Yeah.
yeah, that's something that we wanted to talk with you all about today. I think we're still in the planning stages of what community support will look like going forward as we're in this transition period of the program. And definitely one of the things that we have in our minds as we're doing that planning is how we can support the community, both the alumni community and those who want to uh, engage with alumni in their own communities. So how we support country coordinators, how we support educators, how we support all Globe members in connecting with the alumni who are around them. but also how we support alumni themselves. And so we're still figuring out what that looks like, but that was a question that we had for you all today. What should we keep in mind? What kinds of supports do you think are important, both for alumni and those who want to work with them? What should we keep in mind as we do that planning? And what I'm hearing from you, Elias, is it might be nice to have um, a point of contact at some part of the GIO that is dedicated to the alumni community in Globe. Are there other thoughts about like the specific kinds of supports or the role that you think the GIO might play without making any promises? We want to be responsive to the community.
Yeah, I don't know what Alil think about that because it seems that Alil, what do you think about that?
Hello.
Yes, Alil.
I
What do
miss
you think about that question? Yeah.
I missed the question.
Yes.
So I,
What do you think? Yeah. Amy.
I
I
think our
let you.
question is, as we think about the kinds of supports and infrastructure that we provide as the GIO going forward, and we're in a planning phase in this transition, what would be most helpful to the alumni you work with and to you as Globe members who work with alumni? What what kinds of supports do you need? Um, and we can certainly have like a contact person in the GIO for alumni. But as we think about the resources, the kinds of communication we offer, um, other kinds of supports, what do you think the alumni in your community most need from us?
Uh, it depend. First of all, I think most of us as young scholars, young teachers, young teachers, young scholars, the first level of support for me is to link us with uh, scientists in your area that and then we can discuss easily and see how as scholars as professors we will collaborate directly with them. This is the first level. The second level, uh, if this first level collaboration is good, the second level is to find how to get some project or some program to buy or to have material to work with our students. In our case in Benin, a lot of alumni they use their own resources, their own money to buy material and work with their students. If we can have this two kind of support, I think we can do more. We can do more. Thank you.
Yes, I would like to thank you very much, Ali. I would like to add to what Ali has just said. Yes, of course, we need some, connection with researchers, with scientists. Just um, to get more, to be more, engaged in scientific research. Okay, we need also, in Africa region, some group alumni uh, seeking, funding for the thesis. Some of them are writing the papers, and they need maybe opportunities to do an internship, not necessarily to have money, but internship with mentorship. Such thing would be also good. We, as a group country coordinator in Benin, we have the opportunities. We were lucky to have some equipment from YLSC last time, and now we are working on a research expedition. We call slave route expedition in order to collect globe data. And I would like to tell Halil that maybe he's not informed about it, but we have some equipment which are available to do to work or to do some workshop in Benin. And we are thankful to Dr. Dixon and his organization, which work to help country coordinators and globe countries to have equipment, especially in this time where support may not come directly from the GIO. So on that aspect, it is for me important for alumni to have through this point of contact, at the GIO, all the information they will be needed to improve, to have a professional, opportunities. The most thing also is to participate in globe data research campaign, globe data collection and research campaign. How to align alumni on this objective. So we need to use our networks to inform alumni. They need to be informed about these opportunities. Okay, so most of them don't don't read necessarily the Globe News brief because it is, new generation today, they like short information. They like to have the information, but in a short way. So we need to use the platform they use, TikTok, for example, to to cut the important information, to make them in capsule and infuse them, to deliver to infuse them in the globe network, also to deliver them directly on their phone and the platform they are most using. So that is what I have in my mind for the moment. But it is necessarily important to have someone who you need to talk to and who will be responsible for global affairs, for global alumni affairs at the GIO level.
Thank you so much, Elias, and thank you, Halil, too. Do you think that alumni would appreciate having a dedicated newsletter or email that's separate from the news brief and tailored to alumni?
Yes, definitely. Definitely. I remember that I was talking to Dr. Tony Murphy about an idea we have been discussed in our alumni group, is to have a, globe news, something like a broadcast, news, maybe 5 minute capsule, during which we will focus on the main, research campaign, the main opportunities that Globe is offering, and this need to be translated in different languages, in French, English, also in Asiatic, language, Chinese, not Chinese, but Philippine, and so that alumni can have information in their own language. Of course, they need to have a background in English because the main information will be in English. But how to bring them to this information, we need to use their language, to that. So having a dedicated newsletter, that's a very good idea. Transforming this in a video capsule would be better because young people, they like to have, video, sound, and this way is more, they are more accessible, they are more, you
Yeah.
know, they, they like this more than reading, yeah.
Yeah. So it sounds
So
like we could. Oh, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to cut you
we need
off.
also to maintain the link between club student and alumni. This is wonderful. I remember that in 2000 and I think 18 or 17 in South Africa, and later in Tanzania and other club countries, every time we do club regional meeting in a country, I used to have alumni session. And this alumni session is also extended to club students. And this was, the most fashionable part of the session, because when you see the light in the student eyes, the light, the desire to do science, to do growth, and you alumni, you have the responsibility to maintain this light. You know that you are a mentor. You must be a mentor to guide this student, through the process to become a global alumni and also to benefit for global organization. So we
Yeah.
can also do like that, yeah.
Thank you so much. So I'm hearing a lot that I think is really useful. The first being that it's not only helpful that events are really important, and it may be useful to have alumni specific events where you can gather alumni together and perhaps have connections to students to help facilitate that transition from student to alumni and keep that light, keep that passion, keep that energy going. But I'm hearing it's also really important to involve alumni in real ways in other Globe events that are happening. And campaigns, again, have come up as a really important opportunity. And I think, especially as the program places even more emphasis on crowdsourcing and having everyone involved in um, collecting data, taking measurements, being part of contributing to the research. Uh, there's another opportunity there for to do some additional outreach and bring alumni back into the fold to participate in this globe research that um, they perhaps participated in as a student. So they can still do the science. They can still be part of these communal efforts. So I think that's a really important point. I'm also hearing that we need to think about our communications and how we might package them, what's the right level of information, and what's the information, how we get that information to the alumni community. So are there different communication channels? Are there different uh, what's the right grain size of what we want to share with them? So we'll think about how we communicate, and what vehicles we use to share information with alumni. And I'm also hearing some of what the alumni community might need, and some of that might get addressed through these communication channels, and some might need a person like you're describing, Elias. So a team or a person at the GIO that's responsive to and accessible to the alumni community, who might be able to connect them with resources like fundraising materials if they need instruments or materials for their classrooms. So having that person or that team that alumni can go to get some of the support that the GIO is offering would be really important too, and making that access clear. So having a clear contact person, having clear next steps that you can take as an alumni. This is all really helpful. Thank you. We're getting towards the end of our hour, and this has been a really great conversation. But is there anything else that you want to share with us, or advice you'd like to give us, or things you need help with that you want to share before we move on to next steps?
Uh,
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
good for me.
I just want to thank you all. I want to thank you for the work that you're doing in your communities. I want to thank you for your time here this morning and just how much thought that you've put into this important topic and the work that you're doing with alumni or the work that you're doing with Globe if you are an alumni yourself. Um, let's see, I'm still sharing my screen. I just have a couple quick next steps. The first is
Yeah.
that we hope you might stay in touch with us and have some interest in staying involved in Globe alumni engagement. So we created a very quick interest form if you'd like to share your email, your name, your Globe country, and just let us know if you'd like to receive additional opportunities or information related to engaging Globe alumni. We'll make sure to keep you in the loop as new opportunities arrive or as we have updates on our activity with alumni in Globe. And then finally, we're very excited for the next learning session, which is on Globe phonology. We'll be looking at how to design, implement impactful collaborative campaigns uh, through the lens of the Globe phonology campaigns. And that will be on April 29th from 2 to 3 p.m. UTC. We hope you can attend. We hope we'll see you there. And I believe the registration link will be in the chat. And finally, as always, we really appreciate your feedback. It helps us plan future sessions. And so we hope you'll take a couple of minutes after today's session to just let us know your thoughts. And with that, I just want to thank you again for your time. And I hope that we will stay in touch and have conversations in the future about alumni engagement in the program. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Ilyas.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Mamang Gose.
Bye.